I want to teach you some special settings and combinations that you've never seen before. You're gonna learn many settings and tricks, so make sure you watch this video until the end and let's get started. Before we start, if you like my contents, please support the channel by liking the video and subscribing to my channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Alright, let's begin with the first settings. But before that, I must mention here that these settings and combinations can be used on any time frame, especially for intraday time frames because they help you to catch sudden and short-term increase of momentum in the market. Alright, let's begin with the first one. We need to add two RSI to this chart. So here we click on indicators and we search RSI, this one, and we add two RSI to our chart. Now we're gonna give them some special settings and combinations so they will help us to find accurate buy-sell signals on the chart. First, for this RSI at the bottom, we go to the settings of the indicator, and here in the inputs tab, here for RSI length we set it at 5, and then here in the style tab for RSI line we change the color to red, and we also increase the thickness, and then except the RSI line we remove everything that we have here. Alright, we're done with the settings of the first RSI, and now for the second RSI, we go to the settings of the indicator, and first here in the inputs tab, here for RSI length, we set it at 21, and then here in the style tab, here we remove the moving average of the RSI line, and for the RSI line, we change the color to blue, and we also increase the thickness. Alright, we're done with the settings of the second RSI, and now we're gonna combine them. Here for this RSI at the bottom, which has length of 5, we go here to the more, and then here move to, and we click on existing pane above. And then for the same RSI with length of 5, here again we click on more, and here pen to scale, and we click on pen to scale A. Alright, we're done with the combination of these two RSIs, and now let me teach you how you can find trading signals based on this. But before that, I'm proud to announce that recently I published a book, The Art of Price Action Trading, which is a comprehensive guide to price action analysis. The link is in the description, and you can get it later if you want to master price action trading. Alright, getting back to our indicators, this blue line, which is RSI with length of 21, helps us with the current trend of the market, and this red RSI, which has length of 5, will help us with short-term momentum changes that are happening in the market. So in times that the blue line is above the center line, we can say that the market is trending up and we need to look for long position opportunities. In this situation, we wait for red RSI to go below the center line. This shows that possibly a pullback is forming within the uptrend. Then we wait for the red RSI to cross back above the blue RSI. When the red RSI is closed above the blue RSI, both of them should be above the center line. This shows that probably the pullback ended and the price is gonna advance more. So in practice, we had a buy signal here and we could enter a long position, or another opportunity happened here. We can see that the red RSI went below the center line, and here at this point it closed back above the blue RSI, and both of them are above the center line. So in practice, we had another buy signal here. On the other hand, when blue RSI is below the center line, it shows that the market is trending down and we need to look for short position opportunities. In this situation, we wait for the red RSI to go above the center line. This shows that a pullback is probably forming on the chart. And when the red RSI is closed back below the blue RSI, and if both of them are below the center line, this is a sell signal. So in practice here, we had a signal for opening a short position. This special settings and combination of RSI help you to find trading signals based on short-term momentum changes in the market. So if your trading strategy is based on momentum changes within the longer-term trend, this setup can help you to have buy-sell signals, and with more confirmation in your trading strategy, you can enter a trade. Alright, now let me teach you the second settings and combinations. Here we need to add 2 CCI to our chart. So here we click on indicators and we search CCI. This one, we add 2 CCI to our chart and we need to change their settings. Here for this CCI, which is placed at the bottom, we go to the settings of the CCI, and here in the inputs tab, Here for the length, we set it at 34. And then here in the style tab, here for CCI line, we change the color to red and we also increase the thickness. And after that, we remove everything else that we have here. Alright, we're done with the settings of this CCI, and for the second CCI, we go to the settings of the indicator, and first here in the inputs tab, for the length, we set it at 100, and then here in the style tab, we remove CCI line because we will use CCI moving average line. For this line, also we increase the thickness. Alright, we're done with the settings of this CCI, and now in a similar way, we're gonna combine them. For this CCI at the bottom, which is with length of 34, we click on more and then here move to, and we click on existing pane above. And for the same CCI with length of 34, again we click on more. Here pen to scale and we click on pen to scale A. Alright, everything is already set on the chart, and let's see how we can find trading opportunities by the help of this setup. This yellow line, which is the moving average of CCI with length of 100, helps us with trend identification. When above the center line, the trend is up, and when below the center line, the trend is down. When it is above the center line, we should look for long position opportunities, and we use this red CCI to find the signals. This red CCI has shorter length, so it can help us with momentum changes within the longer term trend. When the red CCI goes below the center line, it shows that the prior uptrend became weak and probably a pullback is forming on the chart, or probably a flat market. Then we wait for the red line to be closed above the yellow line. When this happened, it tells us that probably the pullback or flat market ended, and now we have strong upside momentum. This setup helps you to catch movements of the price that are strong, and usually a sharp advancing of the price happens after the signal. So in practice, we had a buy signal here. On the other hand, when the yellow line is below the center line, it shows that the market is trending down and we should look for short position opportunities, and we use the red CCI for this purpose. When the red CCI goes above the center line, it shows that probably a pullback is forming on the chart. And when it closes back below the yellow line, which happened here, it tells us that probably the pullback ended and the price is gonna decline more. As I said, this setup helps you to catch short-term and strong momentum changes in the market, and usually we have a sharp movement of the price after the signal. Alright, now let me teach you the next settings and combination. Here we need to add 2 MACD to our chart. So here we click on indicators and we search MACD, this one, and we add 2 MACD to the chart. And now we need to change their settings. For this MACD at the bottom, we go to the settings of MACD, and here in the inputs tab, here for the fast length, we set it at 13. And here for the slow length, we set it at 21. And then we go to the style tab and we remove MACD line and signal line. And then here for the histogram, here for the appearance, we change it to cross. Alright, we're done with the settings of this MACD. And for this MACD, we go to the settings of MACD. And first here in the inputs tab, here for the fast length, we set it at 100. Here for the slow length, we set it at 200. And here for the signal smoothing, we set it at 50. And then here in the style tab, we remove MACD line and signal line. And here for the appearance of the histogram, we set it at line. Alright, we're done with the settings of the second MACD, and now we should combine them. For this MACD at the bottom, here we click on more. Here move to, and we click on existing pane above. And then for the same MACD, which has shorter length, again we click on more, pen to scale, and we click on pen to scale A. Alright, everything is already set on the chart, and let me teach you how you can find trading opportunities with this setup. This MACD with longer length of EMAs, which is in the form of a line, it helps us with the current trend of the market. And this MACD with shorter length of EMAs, which is in the form of cross points, it helps us with short-term momentum changes that are happening within the longer-term trend. When this MACD line is above the center line, it tells us that the market is trending up. And when this shorter MACD goes below the center line, it tells us that we have increased downside momentum and probably a pullback is forming on the chart. When we get the first cross above the center line, this is a signal that probably the pullback ended and the price is gonna advance once more. Please pay attention that here we want a complete swing of MACD below the center line. A few cross below and above the center line is not accepted because they are just a noise, and most of the time they are false signals. So here in practice we had a buy signal and we could enter a long position. On the other hand, when the MACD line is below the center line, the market is trending down, and by the help of the shorter MACD, we can find trading signals. Here, we wait for the shorter MACD to go above the center line. As I said, a few cross above and below the center line is not accepted because they are just noises, and many of the time they are just false signal, as you can see. As I said, we want a complete swing of MACD above or below the center line for this strategy, and when we get the cross below the center line, it is a sell signal for opening a short position. This setup can be used in your trading strategy for finding trading signals, and with more confirmation in your trading strategy, you can enter a trade. In this video, I explain some special settings and combinations that can help you find trading signals based on momentum changes in the market. They are not a standalone trading strategy, and they just show a potential signal based on momentum changes in the market, and you need more confirmation based on your trading strategy for entering any trade. Alright, that's it. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask and leave a comment for me. I'll answer your questions as soon as possible. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and hit the bell so you get the notifications of my new videos. See you guys in next video, and good luck with your trading.